Hello, everybody. This is Matt, and this is my second part of the Rye-Rye thing. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because since I am here in Audience Anarchy, I can show you guys what actually happened through visually. So, and I'm also not gonna leave any names out. I just want to make this clear. Do you know iHeart Games? That should be obvious. He made a video about Rye-Rye. The reason why I point that out is because I'm gonna talking about an event that literally involves him. It's basically his birthday event. So in this exact birthday event, one of the things we had to go to, or where we went, was Audience Anarchy, this place. And this right here, the avatar you see right now before your eyes, is the exact avatar I was using in that birthday party. I also was using my OC avatar, which I plan to update soon. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys what the avatar looks like. Yeah. So this is what my avatar looked like when I believe when I met people. So it all began over here. Let me grab and show you guys. It all began in this area where I was here. iHeart was over here. He was busy talking to Nick Bear, which is one of his friends, and about his plans and all that. And everyone was here. I never met them, but they were really nice people. Really nice. I have not gotten to the Rye-Rye part yet. But Rye-Rye was definitely here. I think. I think he was. No, that's not right. There was a bunch of people here. I talked to them, and I'm gonna show you where he. Okay, so I was here. I was talking to everybody here. Eventually, Rye-Rye popped up, like right here, which is a spawn point. He also kind of like appeared with someone. I think at the time he was dating someone. I didn't exactly remember their name, but they were definitely really close. I could tell, and I just didn't press it. So here's where things began. We go back here. You guys know Audience Anarchy. You go over here and to the audience, and you watch the chaos unfold. If you played Audience Anarchy, you know. And this is where it took place. Crazy stuff happened on this set right here, and Rye-Rye, I believe, was around here, like at the top row or at the middle row, but he was at the center of it, and he was watching people's plays. And when it was my turn, I acted out with iHeart. He was the second choice. He was basically the second player chosen in the script, I believe, along with other people, I think. Sorry, I can't exactly remember names, but I do remember that Rye-Rye was over there watching my play. And basically, I was also using this avatar, the avatar you seen earlier. This one. I've used this one I can't remember, but I think it was either to do the stage and what happened later. So when everything was done, I was like doing my crazy stuff, which is like, I'm kind of like that crazy dude, who literally sounds rabid. But it's kind of like me and iHeart's way of joke. Now, the first thing I noticed was iHeart was quiet throughout his birthday stuff, other than the fact that he had to, be his usual self in the stage. Now, I don't know why I never pressed him about that, because I knew he was busy trying to, at this time, he was kind of like contacting a friend, Nick Bear, on Discord, while participating in this event. I believe he was sharing his screen for that friend because that friend couldn't be there. So when everything was done, whenever the play was done, like the chaotic thing was done, the first thing I heard was from Rye-Rye. Or at least, some chattering. But whenever I got up here, I think, or left the thing, like when I got up here, I think around here, let me show you guys. Here, I heard Rye-Rye saying that I was annoying and that wasn't funny. And I was like, okay, I never knew you, but why did you have to be so, I guess you could say, blunt about that? I tried to be funny for people, but it seemed like it failed by a long shot. But I don't know. It's certainly been a while, and some details were hazy. But a birthday event that iHeart was talking about took place all in here, all of it. Now, I did not know iHeart was going through something at this time because he certainly was half himself and half quiet, but I assumed it was because he was focusing on this and his friend on Discord because he also couldn't hear, he had to listen to Nick Bear on Discord while hearing everybody on here. So I assumed when he was quiet and stuff, it was because of that, which I believe it is. But I think what happened, like what truly happened, was maybe that happened after I left or something like that. I don't know. I think I don't know. Have I been there the entire time? I think I did. But when I heard like comments like, "Oh, that was pretty annoying," and that wasn't funny, and Rye-Rye definitely said that. He definitely said that. He was being kind of a jerk about it. And he was like laying here with his lover, I think. No, it had to be the middle one. He was laying here, like he was sitting here with his lover with his arm around them. And they were like, "Oh, well, I'm going to admit that, that wasn't funny." And when I heard that, my heart genuinely broke because I wanted to be funny for people. And when I heard that, I never met Rye-Rye, but this was a first impression. So whenever I heard Rye-Rye talk about me like that, sorry, uh, when I heard Rye-Rye talk about me like that, I was like, ouch. And this is where things got kind of bad for me. Everything went on like usual, but I retreated here. I retreated over here. And I'm going to show you guys the exact skin I used. I believe I still have it. Nope, never mind. I don't think I do. But basically, it was this dark, depressed version of me where everything was grayscale and I wore like a heartbroken jacket. It was kind of a design I made for whenever I get sad, and I made a design for it for whenever I get angry. So I used this sad design and I went over here. Hold on. This area right here. I went over here and sat on this exact spot. I sat here and I basically just sat here and was not doing anything. I was just, to put it simply, sulking in depression. Because at this time, I do remember how it felt. I relapsed, and I think I relapsed in depression, which is a common mental illness I'm kind of like battling. Probably the main mental illness because I did take therapy for it, and it did provide me like very, very helpful resources to combat the depression, and I couldn't have been any more better. But I'm not sure if this was like I said in my stream, before or after the therapy. I do want to build upon why I'm making this video is because the stream was a bunch of ums and uhs and a bunch of silence. And, I want this to be straight to the point and more understanding and more visually, to give you guys a more visual thing of what actually happened. Because I think it was kind of like a little bit too small for how I described it. But this is like, my experience. So to continue, I was sitting over here and I was like looking down like this. And, iHeart, he was the birthday boy. He came through here. He kind of was checking up on me, and he said, I think he said, "Are you coming or are you all right?" And I just said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay." And even I could tell even he wasn't sure that I was okay because he did look at me several times before actually going. And here comes the big part. I guess you could call it the group photo. So I believe this was before the event came to a conclusion, but everyone was right over here. in this stage right here. And they were posing for the photo. And basically, I can show you how it went, or how it was positioned. So the camera, I believe, was over here or farther. Okay. So I believe the camera was right there, and everyone was posing. Everyone was doing this, and one of the people who were really nice to me, they kind of said, "Hey, you want to be part of it, or do you want to come down here and do that?" I was up here, still in my depressed skin, and I'm gonna show you guys what I did. So I guess you could say, okay, so let's just say they said, "Hey, you want to come in and or come by?" And then I was like, "That's what happened." I just looked down and left. I did not. If this was offensive to anybody, I seriously didn't mean it. But I was really going through something. I think I was either relapsing or spiraling down to my depression. I'm just going to say this. I know I don't know Rye. I never knew Rye, but Rye never came to check up on me, even though I was a random person. Like, I know you don't know me, but that kind of says a lot about you as a person if you don't check up on the person who is clearly showing signs of depression. You do not say, "Hey, I think we need to hold this for a bit. I'm going to check on this person." The fact that you didn't do that, Rye, says a lot about you, And I don't know why iHeart didn't check up on me either. I think he just assumed that I needed space, which makes sense. But it's like, at the very least, he's my fucking best friend. So at the very least, he could have just, checked up on me twice. But yeah, that's what really happened in this audience anarchy. All I'm gonna say is, Rye-Rye, I was new. Definitely new. But you could have at least give me a chance in anything. You just had to be an enclosed jerk to me. You just had to just not check up on me. Even though I admit I was just a stranger to you. But did I show signs of being a narcissist and shit? Like did I show signs of pushing people away? I know earlier I said I was fine and shit, but what could have at least made me feel better? I can say this. This would have made me feel better if Rye or anyone else checked up on me, again, because I was wearing a fucking skin that clearly, in my actions, they were clearly indicating I was going through something. And this is kind of on iHeart's part too, because I'm kind of surprised he didn't really do much with my depression. He didn't really show that kind of support other than checking up on me and say, "Hey, I'm okay. Are you okay?" And it's he only asked that once, and I said, "Yeah," and I appreciate it, but you knew, all of you knew that I was going through something, and I knew, I didn't want to bring down the party, so I kind of distanced myself from it. And I'm guessing you guys wanted to move on from it. I understand that. But the thing is, Rye was part of this. That's why I'm talking about it. He didn't even bother at all. He treated me like an actual outsider. When he could have been welcoming, he could have accepted me, he could have talked to me at least once. He did none of that. He treated me like a complete outsider, while everyone else treated me with very, very respectfully. They treat me like I was part of their family. Even though I was a stranger, everyone else here, including iHeart, obviously, they all treated me like I was part of the family. But the only one who didn't was Rye. He treated me like I was some sort of outsider, some fucking, I guess you could put it in a metaphor, like a witch in a village. What did I even do to you? I didn't even do jack shit. You could have just at least said hi to me. Why do you have to be such a bitch to me? And, after everything I heard, I kind of went through people's stories about Rye-Rye, and the fact that he turned out to be a big fat jerk, I'm not surprised he treated me that way. Like, again, guys, I was a stranger, and all these people who were iHeart's friends, they welcomed me with open arms. But Rye-Rye and his partner at the time, neither of them welcomed me with their open arms. Not Rye-Rye, not his lover. They were the only people that did not welcome me with open arms. They treated me like I was some sort of ghost, and they treated me like I was some sort of pest. Because after what they said about my performance, which is just me going crazy, I'm being myself. I am shocked that Rye-Rye proclaiming at the time of this birthday party, he was proclaiming he was the best person ever, yet he couldn't accept a stranger with open arms. And I feel like my experience counts. Because imagine this. Imagine you're participating in your friend's birthday party and you're just being yourself. And even I can say this, I heard you were acting a little bit off here too. You were not being your usual self, but I'm cutting you some slack because you were on a call with Nick Bear, your friend. But I don't know, when I acted like myself around you, you kind of felt I kind of went through something after this. It did seriously feel like you were ashamed of me, and that kind of pushed me downward in the further spiral. So it was also kind of your fault, too, in a way. But you weren't as big of a part as Rye-Rye. Just remember that. I was here. I can confirm this. I was here. It was so weird. Like I said, everyone else accepted me with open arms. The only person who didn't was Rye-Rye. Like, I don't know why, genuinely. He didn't even say hi to me. He didn't even look at me. Because I was a stranger. And guess what? Even though I was a stranger, meeting other people that I never met before, these other people were welcoming me with open arms. I really, really thank you all. Whoever has been there and welcomed me with open arms, that type of action, that type of kindness gets you far in life. Because when you did that, you earned my utmost respect. And that is really good. Continue doing that. You're awesome. However, Rye-Rye and whoever was with you, you could have at least given me a chance by either saying hi, looking at me, welcoming me with open arms, not call my performance annoying. I mean, I guess that I didn't. You can be blatant in things. That was one of your blatant things, which I guess I admire. But when I heard I wasn't funny and I was being annoying from you in particular, combine that with the fact that you treat me like an outsider, like I was just a nobody to you, yeah, that's the moment I lost my respect for you. Because not only you contributed to my downward spiral of depression, which, by the way, if you don't know how depression works, you get really bad thoughts. You get really bad thoughts and you start to, I don't know, it feels like this energy, this darkness swallows your heart whole. You feel the pain, but your body reacts to a way where it's just like your brain comes up with all these bad things and you just fight it off. That's what depression is. I've been through depression before. I know some of you have been through depression before. I went to therapy and it was confirmed that I have some sort of depression because I was assigned resources that combats certain types of depression. And let me just say this, it worked. It worked. Because it taught me some new things about my depression. And whenever I came up with tactics to combat that, it actually worked. I still have the written stuff on my desk. I still have it. And since I since I relapse again, I'm going to use it again. I'm going to go ahead and start my, I guess you could say my therapy session to combat that. But Rye-Rye, I'm saying this with the look in your eye. Look at me in the eye. I'm going to go talk to you man to man. First off, you talking about age of consent in 2022. That's what you pulled up. You know what the age of consent is morally? 18. When you're 18, date another 18. Or something like that. Like, if you can't, maybe like 2-3 years above, that's fine. However, when you were 17 and you were doing stuff with minors, by the way, that's a big no-no. That's not a moral thing to do, especially when you continuously did it several times. That's a big no-no, regardless of what the age of consent law says. You got to stick to morality, okay? And you blatantly admitted that you were 20. I think you were in your 20s and you were dating like a 17-year-old. Like, are you actually serious? Are you actually fucking serious? Like, that is not moral, dude. That's not moral. And you continuously do it. You're a weirdo around minors. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is respect, which you lack. You lack respect for everyone else but yourself. And that is the worst mindset you could ever have in your life. You will not go far with that type of mindset. The type of mindset that you will go far in is the people who welcomed me with open arms even though I was a stranger. That type of kindness will get you far. But you treating me like an outsider, like a witch in a village, was the most hurtful thing you could do to me, even though I was a stranger. I want you to know that small acts of kindness, even when opening up your arms toward two strangers, gets you far. You earn their respect. And the third thing is, well, actually, no. No, that's it. Respect. Because the rest of the things, I heard what you did to your other friends. That is sick. That is not what a friend would do. Yelling at them, accusing them, and sending people to hate on someone that you disagreed with. You were sending your fucking friends to talk smack about a person who had a heart of gold, who was nothing but kind to you. ETH goes boom. I never knew. I knew ETH goes boom, and I knew he had trouble with you. I never understood why. But after I heard everything, after I heard what you did to him and a bunch of other people, I'm not even surprised that you treated me in such a way on iHeart's birthday. You lack respect to everyone but yourself. And you need to, I know a lot of people say this, you need to stay off the internet. You, in my opinion, if I were you, I would face the storm first before deleting your channel, because it seemed like there was a bunch of people who needed to say things to you. A bunch. And you just blocked them instead of just taking it and understanding them like an actual friend. Look, I'm a new person. I'm a stranger. I do not know what's going on behind the scene. But I'm speaking this as a person who has been friends with iHeart for ages, for years. We've been friends since the old YouTube. And not 2060, no. 20 fucking 12. I've known iHeart since 20 fucking 12. So if I have to give you advice, respect others. And keep it in your fucking pants. Okay? Because respect, when it comes to you, Rye-Rye, respect is what's lacking mainly. You lack respect. You didn't treat me with respect. You didn't treat all those friends that you used to have with respect. You only treated yourself with respect. And that has a name. It's called narcissism. It's called ego. You had I'm afraid this was one of the things, because you had a big following, because you have so much subscribers, you let that get to your head, and you had this complex in your mind where you deserved respect no matter what, no matter how you treat other people. In reality, you were just a pharaoh treating the slaves. That's kind of what was going on here. And the worst part is, the slaves were your friends. You were never a pharaoh. You were just another person who had a big following somehow. I'm just saying this right now. If you have a big following, don't let that get to your head or heart. Always keep that loyalty, kindness, and love to your friends and family. Always keep it. Always keep it, no matter how big you get. Because there's going to be people who need it, especially from you. Eth Goes Boom is a great example of this. He has a huge ass following, and he is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Even though I just watch his content, and I barely get recognition from him. Even though we did talk, I believe, before. I'm not sure when, but I think I met Eth during the time of my own drama and my own personal things. So I just hope I can be welcome in his community, because I really like his content. I really do. So I just want to say this. No matter how old you get, no matter how big your channel gets, always remain loyal to your friends, who's been there from the beginning, who has been showing you nothing but kindness. Do not let the big numbers blind you. Do not let the big numbers taint your heart and mind, because there has been some incidences where, because people have a big following, it tainted their heart and mind, and they fell like Rye-Rye did. He was so engulfed in himself that he forgot what was most important: his friends that showed him support even though he had problems. So that was my ramble, my yapping, but that's my experience. I guess you guys have a better visual, thing on how everything went down, and this is a more clear version, a more understandable version, and a lot more things to say since I have things to talk about. So this was part 2, and this will be the final part. Okay? This will be the final part, because I don't want to talk more about this disgusting person, this unfaithful person that doesn't deserve to be talked about, and I want to move on to making my Christmas special. So, for whoever's seen this, to finish off this video, to all the victims of Rye-Rye, all the videos I heard about you sharing your experience about this person, you are validated. Your experience matters, and you have a bunch of support, even from me. And you are loved. You are cared for, even when you don't know it. And I'm very, very sorry you had to go through that traumatic experience. Very, very sorry. And I'm sorry that you have to live, some of you, maybe all of you, have to live with that for the rest of your lives. Because when you be friends with a person for so long and they turned out to be that, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But stay strong. Show kindness and love to the people who need it most. And just be yourself. Okay? You got this. But that's about it for today. The last time I'll be talking about this. I hope you enjoyed this more clear explanation, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.